This is the plaintiff, Eduardo Aguilera. He says the defendant backed into his parked BMW at about 10 miles an hour and damaged his car big time. His wife and triplets were in the car, and when his wife got out to assess the damage, the defendant took off like a shot. Luckily, they got her plate number, and now it's pay-up time, because he's pretty sure the judge is going to make the defendant reimburse him for the $1,500 worth of damage she caused. This is the defendant, Naima Yancey. She says the plaintiff illegally parked his car behind a bus stop, and she never expected anyone to be behind her. Besides, she simply tapped the guy's bumper, and now he's trying to make a federal case out of it by suing for $1,500. Even her insurance company denied the claim, saying there was no way she could have caused so much damage from a parking spot. The plaintiff's absolutely ridiculous, and so's this trumped-up lawsuit. She's accused of a backup crackup.
All parties, please raise your right hand. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome.
Okay, Eduardo Aguilera, you are
Yes.
suing Naima Yancey for $1,500 for the repair of your bumper that, according to you, she negligently backed into. Tell me what happened.
Well,
You weren't actually in the car when it happened, right?
No, I wasn't. My wife and my
Is that your wife?
Yes.
Come on up. Let's start with you. Tell me
Okay.
what happened.
I was sitting in the car waiting for my husband to come out of the store.
You were where? In the passenger seat?
Yes, in the passenger seat. And 3 kids in the back. And the defendant came out from
Where was the car?
It was parked on the side of the street.
Meaning
I think
what?
It's Yonkers Avenue. I don't know which street.
McLean Avenue.
McLean Avenue.
Okay, was it parked legally or
Yes.
illegally?
Yes,
Okay.
it was parked legally.
Okay.
And the defendant came out of the liquor store and she got into her car and then she backed up so hard, we didn't expect it. We all just jumped up. And so I got out of the car and I said, well, I have to see what's happened. And she said, I don't see any damage on the car. So I said, well, wait a second. This is my husband's car. He just bought it. It's his baby. So I ran across to tell him quickly and then she zoomed off.
What kind of car is this?
It's a BMW 1997.
It's not a new brand new
Was there
car.
damage?
Yes, there was damage. Yeah,
Okay,
I saw
so
a
when
thing.
she says, I don't see any
I
damage,
don't
what'd you
see
say to
anything.
her?
I said, I see something, and I said, I have to get my husband because this is his car, and he loves his car. And so I went across the street quickly, but then I saw her jump in the car and zoom off.
Did you get her license
I got
plate?
the license plate number.
How did you get the license plate?
I got the license
You had
plate
already
as
gotten
soon
it?
as she hit me.
Right.
As soon as she hit me,
Smart
I wrote
thinking.
it down right away.
Yeah, actually take your smartphone out and then talk after that. Because, you know. All right, so she takes off and then what do? You call the police?
So I don't know then what my husband, I don't know what
Okay,
he
let's
did.
take it from there.
So and then we did call the police, and we got the reports for she left the scene of an accident.
Right.
Okay, so I got the report.
Okay, so
Something.
did you make a claim against her insurance?
Right. So the insurance came to I estimated the car to observe, which I have the card from the person came.
Let me see the estimate from her insurance company.
Yes, I have everything in there. Did you want just the
How
estimate?
much is the estimate from her insurance company?
About 1,800.
Okay,
And I
and
got
then
it
the
down for
estimate from
1,500.
your place that you want to get it fixed at is 1,500?
Yes.
Okay, so go on.
So I have the paperwork with me.
So what happens with her insurance? They don't pay for it?
And then they said that they don't want they have nothing to do because she said she wasn't never there.
That she was never there?
Right.
Okay, what's going on?
Okay, hi. What happened was I parked my car and I went to the store. When I came back,
What store?
the liquor store. When I came back from the store and I entered into my car, I reversed the vehicle. When I reversed the car, I tapped.
So you were there?
I was there.
Okay. Do you have something in writing from her insurance company
Yes.
saying that she says she wasn't there?
Right. Actually,
have
I got two voicemail from the insurance.
I want you to play it.
Okay. Oh, I did play it before.
Yeah, well, play it now because
I
I'm the
will.
judge. I don't know who you played it before to, but play it for the judge.
I will. Just
Okay.
I have a lot of messages.
That's all right.
I get it done.
Saved message. Yes, this is Progressive. Colin, we need to set up an inspection on your vehicle. Our insured is claiming that she was never involved in any accident, so we
Okay.
did get pictures.
You can shut that off now. Did you tell your insurance company you weren't involved in an accident?
Correct.
Welcome back to the People's Court, RV11 here. So when she lies to the insurance company, is that kind of proof that maybe she's at fault?
Oh, it's just she's at fault. You lie, you have a reason to lie for something, and she's lying to her insurance.
You buy that? She lies to her insurance company. It means she must have done.
I don't know. Maybe she was just afraid at that moment, and she had to think about it for a while. And
Maybe.
conscience kind of said, "Ooh."
I don't think you even believe what you're saying. What do you think?
I think that because we're creating a cover-up, she's admitting to guilt, and then by lying to the insurance company, ironed out the deal.
You made it sound like Watergate. Wow. Going inside the courtroom.
Why would you lie to your insurance company?
Because I didn't feel it was an accident. It was a tap on
Really?
the
That's the
bumper.
kind of hairs you think you're going to split with them and with me? So let me ask you a question. Stand up, please. I'm sorry. According to the wife, you left when she went to go get him. Did you leave?
I did leave.
Why would you leave the scene of an accident?
I tapped her bumper. I got out of the car.
Who are you to be judge, jury, and executioner and decide how much damage there is and what it's worth? You can't just leave the scene of an accident and then tell your insurance company you didn't have an accident, you weren't involved in one. Why do you leave when she says she's going to get him?
Because I offered to call the police and she did not say anything.
Really?
I offered.
That's funny because she's the one who called the police and not you, so I'm having some trouble believing
Well,
that.
I never received anything from
Why did you
the
leave the scene of the accident?
I left the scene because she left the scene.
She was going in to get him.
I'm not sure who she's going to get.
No, that's not why. You have a different answer every time. You know why? Because you're a self-interested, dishonest human being. That's why. You tell me, why did she leave the scene besides not wanting to pay for it? According to you, she was intoxicated?
She was nervous, very nervous. I know
Was she intoxicated?
I don't know if she was.
Okay, because you said in your statement that she seemed intoxicated.
Well, that's what my husband said, that he thought.
So
we
then
talked
let me
about
ask
it.
you, you weren't even there, so you don't
wasn't
know.
there. I said, why? She was very nervous. Why would she leave? She had liquor in her hand and she zoomed out of there. So
Well,
I
she
said,
certainly
maybe.
wasn't intoxicated. Well, I don't know if she was intoxicated.
I don't
Not
know
when
if
she
she
talked to her
was.
insurance company, but that certainly seemed like a deliberate thing. That's for sure.
The insurance said, well, she wasn't never there, so.
But she got very nervous and she took off
How
quickly.
do you figure that you're going to come in front of me, raise your right hand and swear to tell the truth, and that I'll believe you when I already know that you left the scene of an accident, which is intensely dishonest, and that you lied to your insurance company?
It wasn't a lie.
Really?
Because
I wasn't there, wasn't a lie.
It was. I didn't say I wasn't there. I said I didn't recall of an accident occurring.
Do you recall an
because
accident occurring?
It was a tap.
So
on
why
the
did you just say
bumper.
that to your insurance company?
Because when they called, I did not remember because they called 2 months after the fact.
You don't. How many times do you go around hitting people and leaving while they go get their husbands?
Not often. I don't do that at
maybe
all.
you just couldn't keep them all straight. I don't know.
Well,
how do you think this is going for you? How would you like it if I backed into you? You went inside to make a phone call and I just took off. And then I lied to my insurance. Apparently she has insurance. That's the worst part. But but you care about your rates rising. You don't really care about what happens to his car. What do you care? So you lie to your insurance company to get out of your insurance company even paying. It's not even you paying, it's your insurance company paying. It's why you pay insurance for accidents. And you turn around and you tell them that. If I were you, I would be so angry, I would follow up with the police to make sure that they get a tape of this trial and that they hear her talking about how she left the scene. I'm outraged. Give me your bills. Unbelievable. This is what makes living in a city miserable. Miserable. I find in favor of the plaintiff in the amount of the $1,500. Pay the man. And you know what? Your insurance company isn't going to pay him. Do you know why? Because you're a liar. And that is an exemption to covering you.
Well, here's the defendant. That's going to leave a mark. That was tough.
yes, it was.
Well, some of your actions, you regret leaving the scene, for instance. You regret some of these actions. If you'd stayed there, been confronted and talked to the cops, taken pictures like a normal person would do at an accident scene, you think things might have gone better for you?
Again, I assessed the vehicles. I believe there was no damages done to the cars. I offered to call the cops myself. She left the scene, therefore I left.
All right. All right, sir. So step on in here. How'd that go?
Well, hopefully we get satisfaction in this. I learned a lesson. Hopefully she learned a lesson. You don't make a damage, you take off after you make a damage. It wasn't even just the car, just the fact that my triplets and my wife was in the car. Who knows what can happen there? Thank God nothing major happened, physical. But
you learned a lesson? What was the lesson you learned?
I shouldn't even leave anybody in my car.
Over to Harvey.
You know, there's something in the law called consciousness of guilt. So the way you act at the accident scene and what you do afterwards matters. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.